It is time for a short story today, and I've got one from Rudyard Kipling. The story is called The Amir's Homily, and the story is based in Afghanistan. And you probably know that Kipling wrote quite a bit about the Indian subcontinent, about South Asia, and so is the case with this story. So, without any delay, let me start narrating this story. Here we go. His Royal Highness Abdur Rahman, Amir of Afghanistan, and trusted ally of Her Imperial Majesty the Queen of England and Empress of India, is a gentleman for whom all right-thinking people should have a profound regard. Like most other rulers, he governs not as he would as he can, and the mantle of his authority covers the most turbulent race under the stars. To the Afghan, neither life, property, law, nor kingship are sacred when his own lusts prompt him to rebel. He is a thief by instinct, a murderer by heredity and training, and frankly and bestially immoral by all three. Nonetheless, he has his own crooked notions of honor, and his character is fascinating to study. On occasion, he will fight without reason, given till he is hacked in pieces. On other occasions, he will refuse to show fight till he is driven into a corner. Herein, he is as unaccountable as the grey wolf, who is his blood brother. And these men, His Highness rules by the only weapon that they understand, the fear of death, which among some Orientals is the beginning of wisdom. Some say that the Amir's authority reaches no farther than a rifle bullet can range. But as none are quite certain when their king may be in their midst, and as he alone holds every one of the threads of the government, his respect is increased among men. Ghulam Haider, the commander-in-chief of the Afghan army, is feared reasonably, for he can impale. All Kabul city fears the governor of Kabul, who has power of life and death through all the wards. But the Amir of Afghanistan, though outlying tribes pretend otherwise when his back is turned, is dreaded beyond chief and governor together. His word is red law. By the gust of his passion falls the leaf of man's life, and his favor is terrible. He has suffered many things and been a hunted fugitive before he came to the throne, and he understands all the classes of his people. By the custom of the East, any man or woman having a complaint to make, or any enemy against whom to be avenged, has the right of speaking face to face with the king at the daily public audience. This is personal government, as it was in the days of Harun al-Rashid of blessed memory, whose times exist still and will exist long after the English have passed away. The privilege of open speech is, of course, exercised at certain personal risk. The king may be pleased and raise the speaker to honor for that very bluntness of speech which 3 minutes later brings a too imitative petitioner to the edge of the ever-ready blade. And the people love to have it so, for it is their right. It happened upon a day in Kabul that the Amir chose to do his day's work in the Babar Gardens, which lie a short distance from the city of Kabul. A light table stood before him, and round the table in the open air were grouped generals and finance ministers according to their degree. The court and the long tail of feudal chiefs, men of blood, fed and cowed by blood, stood in irregular semicircle round the table, and the wind from the Kabul orchards blew among them. All day long, sweating couriers dashed in with letters from the outlying districts, with rumors of rebellion, intrigue, famine, failure of payments, or announcements of treasure on the road. And all day long, the Amir would read the dockets and pass such of these were less private to the officials whom they directly concerned, or clearly to the ruler of Afghanistan. Then the grim head, under the black astrachan cap with the diamond star in front, would nod gravely, and that chief would return to his fellows. Once that afternoon, a woman clamored for divorce against her husband, who was bald, and the Amir, hearing both sides of the case, bade her pour curds over the bare scalp and lick them off, that the hair might grow again and she be contented. Here the court laughed, and the woman withdrew, cursing her king under her breath. But when twilight was falling and the order of the court was a little relaxed, there came before the king in custody a trembling, haggard wretch, sore with much buffeting, but of stout enough build, who had stolen 3 rupees. Of such small matters does his highness take cognizance. "Why did you steal?" said he. And when the king asks questions, they do themselves service who answer directly. "I was poor and no one gave, hungry and there was no food." "Why did you not work?" "I could find no work, protector of the poor, and I was starving." "You lie. You stole for drink, for lust, for idleness, for anything but hunger, since any man who will find work and daily bread." The prisoner dropped his eyes. He had attended the court before, and he knew the ring of the death tone. "Any man may get work. Who knows this so well as I do? For I too have been hungered, not like you bastard scum, but as any honest man may be, by the turn of fate and the will of the god." Growing warm, the Amir turned to his nobles, all arrow, and thrust the hilt of his sabre aside with his elbow. "You've heard this son of lies. Hear me tell a true tale. I also was once starved, and tightened my belt on the sharp belly pinch. Nor was I alone when I was hunted, before ever I came to this throne. And wandering like a houseless dog by Kandahar, my money melted, 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 till he flung out a bare palm before the audience, and continues. And day upon day, faint and sick, I went back to that one who waited. And God knows how we lived, till on a day I took our best Ilaf silk it was, fine work of Iran, such as no needle now works, warm and a coverlet for 2, and all that we had. I brought it to a moneylender in a by-lane, and I asked for 3 rupees upon it. He said to me, who am now the king, "You're a thief, this is worth 300. "I'm no thief," I answered, but a prince of good blood, and I'm hungry." "Prince of wandering beggars," said the moneylender, "I have no money with me, but go to my house with my clerk, and he will give you 2 rupees 8 annas, for that is all I will lend." And so I went with the clerk to the house, and we talked on the way, and he gave me the money. We lived on it till it was spent, and we fared hard. And then that clerk said, being a young man of a good heart, "Surely the moneylender will lend yet more than that half." And he offered me 2 rupees. These I refused, saying, "No, but get me some work." And he got me some work, and even I, Abdur Rahman, Amir of Afghanistan, wrought day by day as a coolie, bearing burdens and laboring of my hands, receiving 4 annas wage a day for my sweat and backache. But he, this bastard son of not, must steal. For a year and 4 months I worked, and none dare say that I lie. For I have a witness, even that clerk who is now my friend. Then there rose in his palace among the Sirdars and the nobles one clad in silk, who folded his hands and said, "This is the truth of God, for I, who by the favor of God and the Amir am such, as you know, was once a clerk to that moneylender." There was a pause, and the Amir cried hoarsely to the prisoner, throwing scorn upon him till he ended with the dread Dararid, which clinches justice. So they led the thief away, and the whole of him was seen no more together. And the court rustled out of its silence, whispering, "Before God and the Prophet, but this is a man."